I like that. But no, as we typically do on some of these holiday episodes, we like to do a draft here on the show, and this Thanksgiving 2021 is no different. But this time, and Matt, you're gonna, since Tim is not with us this time, can you keep track of the picks for us this time? And what we're gonna do is after the show airs on Thursday, we'll put a post out. We'll put a link out for people to vote on who has the best of the worst gimmicks. Now, are we doing, is this WWE or is this just like wrestling? Can we include WCW in this?
Let's just do WCW and WWE.
Okay, so we'll keep it to those two. So the best of the worst gimmicks out of the WWE/WCW, and we'll let the listeners of 3 Count Thursday, or whoever Mark pays off to vote for his, determine who had the best of the worst. Didn't think about this ahead of time. How do we want to determine who gets the number one pick in the draft?
We should go youngest to oldest.
Or do we want to do like a random number generator or something like that?
Love random numbers.
Okay, so I'm going to write my answer down because I will do the random number. What terms do we want to set? I guess I should look to see here, like what we can.
We do an entire pre-show, post-show for those not sure. Though we could have ironed this out long before the show aired. Patreon.com/3Count Thursday. You can get it for $2 a month. That's $2 a month. But we decided to talk about stupid shit and not do this stuff when we're supposed to.
So I'm gonna.
Also, you can hear Matt talk to the Kirks.
Exciting this way.
They're lovely people.
So I'm gonna do 1 to 100.
Beautiful people.
I have a random number wheel on my phone. I'm gonna write my answer down, or maybe we should all write our answers down. So it's on the up and up here.
1 to 100.
1 to 100.
1 to 100.
Let me know when you have your answers written down, and I will spin the wheel.
I have mine written down.
All right, I got mine. Ryan?
I put mine on the notes of the iPad. Is that okay?
That works. Ryan, got yours?
I'm good. We're good to go.
All right, so I'm spinning the wheel. The wheel is the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
See it spinning
Spin
there.
that wheel.
And we have 76.
Oh, boy.
So Matt goes 77. I went with 16.
I went 11.
I went 16 on mine.
Hey, I went with 11 too.
There we
Hey!
go. So Matt will go first, I guess, because I was the second closest.
I picked 11, Mark, because I wasn't sure if it flipped the numbers around or not, and 11 didn't matter.
Okay, so now you two chose 11. So let's do this again here to determine. So Matt, where would you like to go in the draft since you won?
I will. Well, I thought we were just doing who got closest went first.
Oh, that's right. Well, or do you want to pick the draft order?
Yeah,
let's just do it. Who got the closest and from there.
Okay.
So Ryan and Mark need to break the tie.
Yeah, so I'll set up for Ryan and Mark. It'll be.
I don't want any bad blood from anyone. I know Ryan.
It'll be a number between 1 and 50. So
well on that for a year.
Mark and Ryan, you guys write another number down between 1 and 50, and I will spin the wheel again then. But Matt, which pick do you want?
Oh, I thought I just went first because I was the closest, and then
okay,
and then you were second.
Second. So Ryan, do you have yours down between 1 and 50?
Spin that wheel.
Mark, you have yours? All right.
I do. Spin the wheel, make a deal.
The wheel is spinning away.
Hello.
And it lands on number 27. So Ryan picked 8.
27. I have
Mark
43.
picked 43. So I think Mark is closer on that one, right? I'm not
by a hair, yeah.
By a hair.
Ryan's
so Mark,
19 away. Mark's 16
Mark,
away.
you will go third. Ryan, you will go fourth.
So good.
And then you will, of course, it goes in
Serpentine.
round.
Love a good serpentine draft.
All right, Matt. you start us off here with the first pick in the worst gimmicks draft.
First pick.
Well, given the season, given the time of year, I'm going to take the gobbledygooker off the board
So bad.
with my first overall pick.
That was my first overall pick, and you took it from me.
Well, it certainly was not your first
I'm
overall
upset.
pick then.
Should have guessed a closer number then, Mark.
Well, Mark,
Mistake.
You know what? Let me set the draft order. Mark's last names.
and he actually somehow he works out to be last every round. I don't know how that works.
That's all right.
So since we include the WCW into mine, I'm thinking between two here.
Ooh.
But probably one of the most fumbled debuts in the history of wrestling. My first pick is the Shockmaster.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
That's solid. Solid.
Can't be upset with that pick.
No, that's
No, I'm not upset at all. You can't
strong. Then we go to Ryan. Correct. No, Mark.
No, Mark.
Mark is third.
be.
Mark, we go to you with the third pick in the first round.
I'm going to go with, well, since the Gobbledygooker is not on there, I got to go with the next best thing in this holiday season. The very short-lived Santa Claus.
Oh, good choice.
That's a good choice.
And that's
Very short.
Santa with an
This
X.
is X.
That
Santa.
is correct.
Yes.
Santa Claus.
That's a good.
Or Balls Mahoney, if you
Balls
will.
Mahoney.
With the Santa Claus character.
Little known fact about Santa Claus, he is undefeated in WWF competition.
No shit.
He wrestled one match for the WWE, which he won. He will go down in history as as the most winningest superstar.
For the highest winning
100%.
percentage.
Yes.
I'd love to know, like, how many people are 100% with wins in their WWE career. That'd be a good one to look up. So we go to Ryan. Ryan, the fourth pick in the first round, the fourth and final pick.
Boy, this was a lot of fun to research and come up with a list.
Was.
The top of my list, I'm going to have to go with the worst pun name, I think, ever given to a superstar, and that's Isaac Yankom Dds. Yes, the wrestling dentist, an evil wrestling dentist at that, Yankom, will be the captain of my team, if you will.
So maybe I'm an idiot, and there's a real good chance I'm an idiot. But I literally just realized that, like, if he is I Yankom.
I Yankom.
I Yankom.
I Yankom.
Isaac Yankom is
Yeah.
I Yankom.
Yep.
Dr. I Yankom.
36 years old. I just put that together. I'm an idiot.
Welcome to the future, Jim.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
All right. We start the second round with Ryan working its way back up the draft. Ryan, your pick in the second round.
It's a little early for this guy to come off the board, I feel, because I feel like I'd be safe. But you know what? No, screw it. We're going to go the other way. We're going to go the Goon. Number 2, the Goon. A guy that was too violent and kicked out of every hockey league he ever wrestled in or ever played hockey in, but just couldn't figure it out in the World Wrestling Federation. What a lame gimmick, the Goon.
It had to be the boots. Remember his boots?
They look like skates.
You had the hockey
look like
skate
skates.
boots. Whoa,
The Goon.
that's
The Goon.
that's a solid pick, Ryan. I can't dispute you there. All right,
You're
Mark.
a solid pick, Jim.
Thank you, Mark. Mark, do you even know what that sounder is, by the way?
I know you play it every time we do the drafts, so it has something to do with drafts.
Yep. So
But
take
I
a
don't know.
shot in the dark.
It's the
I know
car
that's-
draft for NASCAR.
It has to be the NASCAR when they're picking the drivers. What
Draft.
car did
How
you
they
drive
do
that
it.
year?
Close enough. Mark, it's the
You play that
NFL
music.
draft. You know, the
Oh,
football.
NFL.
You being a big Lions guy, I would have thought you would have guessed
Oh,
that.
huge fan. I love Detroit. You know, they didn't.
Mark, you're driving the Tide car this year.
All right, yeah, why not? I'll make a clean getaway.
Fuck.
Ridiculous.
All right, Mark, your second round pick. Sorry, I started us down that road. My bad.
It was your bet. You led me down the road.
It's a lonely road of faith.
Lonely road. So let me see here. So I got to pick. I'm going to go. Now I know it's a little early for this one to come off the board. It may be a little early, but this gimmick would not fly in 2021. I'm going to go with Kerwin White because if it ain't white, it ain't right. I'm taking Kerwin in that.
Boy, and Kerwin White sure making the news rounds today, didn't
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did.
he? Jesus.
Now, what else did Kerwin do? I missed it.
Oh, Chavo just made a stupid tweet about the whole Seth Rollins thing. Then he tried to not necessarily apologize. He tried to kind of talk his way out of it. And
Yeah, no go, buddy.
it didn't work either. All right, we go to me then, huh? Man, I'm really thinking about staying in WCW. I'm really thinking about hanging out in WCW land.
This is where Bret Hart comes off the list.
I mean, WCW's Bret Hart was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I think I'm actually gonna go to the World Wrestling Federation. In the early 90s, we had an escaped convict? Nails. I'm gonna go with Nails. That's Nails with the Z
The Z.
as well.
Nails with the Z.
Comes off the board.
As a young 7-year-old, I remember Nails scaring me.
He was scary at 7. He was
He choked out the big boss man with his
pretty
billy
good.
club. Like, that's scary stuff.
he frothed at the mouth when he would talk, and he would get all worked up. But looking back on it, you watch some of those old pay-per-views in SummerSlam 92-ish era. Nails does not age well. All right,
Does not.
Matt, we go to you to close out the second round.
So following along with what Mark was saying, a gimmick that wouldn't fly these days, I am going to take the special needs nephew of Eric Bischoff, Eugene,
Yeah.
off the Orth Gimmicks pool.
There's a couple on my list that would not
Yes, there is.
would not age very well into today's world. And Eugene would certainly be one of those. All right, so that rounds
And he
out.
was a really good wrestler. Like he
Oh,
had
yes.
really good wrestling chops.
Really good in like OVW, right? He's still
And he was
Yeah,
he was a trainer for a long time as
Yeah.
well. So let's review. First round, Matt, what was the picks in the first round?
So round one, I took the Gobbledygooker. Big Jim took the Shockmaster. Intern Mark took Santa Claus. And Ryan took Isaac Yankom Dds.
Second round, of course, was
Second round moving reverse. Ryan took the Goon off the table with his first pick in the second round. Intern Mark with the Kerwin White pick. Big Jim taking Nails off the board. And then I rounded out round two with Eugene.
all right. Matt, kick us off here in round number 3.
Round number 3, I am going to go to the WCW, another one of Eric Bischoff's terrible ideas. I am taking the Kiss Demon off the board.
And when you said WCW, I got real nervous. The Demon, bad, absolutely bad.
I got
He wanted to rock and roll all night and part of every day.
I got nervous there, Matt, because I thought you were going to take the one that I was looking at
So bad.
with my second round pick. So now that you scared me, I'm gonna do it with my pick in the third round. I'm gonna go with the Yeti. Yeti.
Oh, that was my
See,
pick.
I didn't.
I had the Yeti.
I was a little worried that it wasn't going to make it back
was so
around.
bad.
You did me a favor. I will go with the Yeti in round number 3.
Yeti.
So, Mark,
That's all right.
Mark, now that I've
I got
rocked you to
someone
the
else.
core, you get to take your
To the
pick in the
core,
third
wow.
round.
That was felt all the way to the CNN towers, so I had to go with PNN or PN News from the WCW. Do you guys even remember PN News? He was
Vaguely.
terrible.
Vaguely.
Who
Terrible.
portrayed that?
Let me see here. Let's see.
That wasn't Spicoli, was it?
No.
No,
It was like
Paul New.
Um,
And he would come out rapping. He was very heavy. He was a heavy gentleman. And he'd come out rapping. And one of the worst matches ever. They had him and I think it was Beautiful Bobby and Steve Austin.
So PN
I
News.
can't remember who the other.
PN News also wrestled as the American Avalanche, Cannonball Grizzly, Mighty Avalanche, Paul New, Paul the Grizzly, and PN News. He is cousin to somebody else that may make the list. So I'm not going to bring him up yet.
Don't bring it up.
But I have the page open just in case, and if we don't make it through. But his cousin may make our list, and we will we'll maybe get to that here in the next few rounds. So Mark, you took
I got PN News.
and News. Ryan, how do we close out the third round of our worst gimmick draft?
Friar Ferguson, a fucking
Oh,
wrestling monk.
Terrible. Terrible. So bad.
So
I think he only had 1 or 2 matches as that character.
good. So now this brings up an important question, though, because
he doesn't have only the one bad gimmick.
right, he has multiple bad gimmicks. Does the other bad gimmick?
It's absolutely possible. I think
It's
this is
still
a
on the
gimmick
table.
battle royal. It's not
Yeah.
a person
So
royal.
it's separate gimmicks. Okay, got it. Because
Correct.
I know in the past, if a wrestler was taken, he was taken in all forms.
In all forms. No, I think this is the
This
gimmick
a
form.
gimmick okay.
Yeah.
Because there are other superstars and other wrestlers who
A
have
monk.
a monk.
Come on.
A wrestling monk.
Wrestling
How awful.
monk.
Get out of here.
Wrestling.
Now I heard everything.
It's unbelievable.
How can you possibly think that's a good idea?
So
Dude.
Matt, remind everybody the
So
third
bad.
round as we round out the third round.
All right, so first pick in the third round, I took the Kiss Demon off the board. Big Jim followed that up with the Yeti. Intern Mark, PN News off the board. And Ryan, the Wrestling Monk, Friar Ferguson, taken off the board.
All right, so let's go to the fourth round. Ryan, you kick us off.
Well, the 90s were a wild time in the WWE. And I always enjoyed the tag team of the Headbangers. But when the Headbangers broke up, you had Mosh and you had Thrasher. And they decided to take Mosh and make him Beaver Cleavage. Which was some weird, bizarre, incestual character that made sexual jokes with his mother, Mrs. Cleavage, in a clear ripoff of Leave It to Beaver. Beaver Cleavage in the fourth round, because why not?
Who played the mother?
Oh, she was hot.
She was hot. That was Mrs. Cleavage.
Mrs. Cleavage.
So it was she in wrestling, she was only ever really known as Mariana, which is her real name, Mariana Kamlos. But yeah, she only was Mrs. Cleavage.
Let's get her to Icons.
Right?
Now you're talking.
Now we're talking.
Now you're
Beaver
talking. Let's get her
Cleavage.
there. Come on.
Man, this draft could freaking go multiple rounds.
I was gonna say I
There's
think we
so
could
many still on there. Holy cow.
probably do more than 5, but we'll get there as we get there. Intern Mark, your pick in round number 4.
Well, I think for this one, you're going to have to follow the yellow brick road all the way to WCW with his manager, the Wizard. I'm going to go with Oz.
Good old Oz.
Oz.
So bad.
Who would have guessed?
Terrible.
Who would have guessed that Oz ended up being one of the people that was the catalyst for the Monday Night Wars? Like, if you really look at it, Oz's return to WCW changed the wrestling business.
So did.
All right.
I remember, I forget what pay-per-view he debuted on, but I remember we ordered it, and I remember seeing they had like the Wizard of Oz characters come out down the ramp, and it was just awful.
Oh,
It was
my.
so bad.
Oh man. All right, then we go back to me here. Man, there are still so many to choose from. So many to choose from. But I'm gonna go. Oof. Man, this is tough. You know what? No. We had a plumber come out to the house yesterday. We had to get a new faucet put in the house. So in honor of that, I'm going to go with none other than T.L. Hopper. T.L. Hopper. Good old toilet lid Hopper.
T.L. Hopper.
Holy hell.
Too bad it wasn't John Hopper. T.L. Hopper.
T.L. Hopper. I mean,
So
what a time, ladies and gentlemen. What a time. All right, Matt.
Wrestling plumber.
Let's close out the fourth round.
All right. To close out the fourth round, I am going to take Mantor off the board.
And as we were discussing PN News, his cousin, Mantar.
Wow.
I can see the resemblance.
I can too.
Who also wrestled as Bruiser Messino, Mad Mustafa, Tank, and Terminator Mastino. So, Mantar.
Jim, do you have a favorite Mad Mastino match?
That one he was in. The bell rang, and then it rang again. All right.
How could the WWF have ever thought Mantar would half man, half bull? This won't be half bad, and it was all bad. Like how?
And then they did it again with El Torito.
El Torito. He was just a little bull.
Unless we had that gave us the WLC match, which
also doesn't fly in 2021, correct?
How did that fly in like 2017 or whatever it was?
We weren't good people then.
At least El Torito came out and gored Jerry the King in the junk during that Hall of Fame. So we at least got something out of El Torito.
That is true. Yeah. So Matt, remind us the round four.
Yep. So Ryan started off round 4 by taking Beaver Cleavage off the board. Enter Mark took Oz away. Big Jim had T.L. Hopper. And then I close this out with Mantar.
Which I look at Mantar and T.L. Hopper and some of these other ones we've named and some of the other ones that are still on my list. And it amazes me that people are amazed that the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment makes poor decisions.
Mm-hmm.
This is the company that brought us Mantar and T.L. Hopper, folks. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. All right, Matt, let's start round number 5, which may be the last round. Maybe we'll discuss that because there are plenty of options. But Matt, kick us off in round number 5.
There are, and I really wanted to have a female worst gimmick on the list, but with him still on the table, I can't let Max Moon go undrafted. So, in my last pick,
damn it,
possibly. My last pick, I am going to take Max Moon.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I was looking at him in the last round.
That's a good pick.
In the round
Maxwell Moon.
Yeah, that's one of those gimmicks that like you think is great as a kid, then you look back on it and go, that was awful. That was just
not so good.
It's awful. All right, we go to me in round number 5. Man, still a lot of good options out there, folks. But
How about that?
how about that? I'm
What are
going
we
to
doing?
go. It's tough, but I'm going to go. This is one I was looking at before, and a company that had the biggest star in the world at one time, regardless of how you may feel about him now, was the Immortal Hulk Hogan. And then there was a time where Hulk Hogan, I believe, got suspended. But we got Mr. America.
We sure
Hogan,
did.
Hulk Hogan in a mask.
How
Uh.
awful.
And then it got exposed because one night after SmackDown, Mr. America decided to let the crowd in on the secret. And pull that mask up.
And they were stunned.
And those cameras were still rolling. And Mr. McMahon found out and then fired Hulk Hogan / Mr. America.
Unreal.
How ridiculous.
It was so bad.
Mr. America.
Mark, your pick here in round number 5.
All right, my pick number 5 here. I got to go with. So this man was a killer heel in ECW. He was a killer heel champion. So what do? They bring in the WCW. They completely just bumble his everything about him. And next thing you know, he's a fat chick thriller. That 70s guy, Mike Awesome.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Terrible.
So wait, are you choosing the fat chick thriller, or are you using that 70s guy?
They are two different gimmicks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the fat chick thriller.
Okay.
That's what I would have gone with. Yep.
You wanna talk
Yeah.
again, we're talking some gimmicks that do not age well. I don't think the fat chick thriller
They'd have to.
ages itself well into 2021.
It would be the plus size woman thriller.
Even that might not.
Probably still
Man.
probably
Brought to you by
still
Weight
doesn't make the
Watchers.
cut.
Yeah, that'd be a fine line.
All right, Ryan, bring us home in round 5.
There are so many turds still available.
There
to
are.
choose from.
Should we go one more time down the road then, just to make it an even?
All right, let's do that. Let's do 6. I'm fine with 6.
At least,
Maybe we
yeah.
could do. Can we do a tag team maybe, or a woman, or?
You can do whatever
You
you
can
want.
do whatever you want, Mark.
All right,
You write the rules.
Are you
All right,
serious?
so I have 2 now, back to back.
Too bad.
Um,
We start with you in round number 5.
So, man, the Ministry was such a fantastic stable
I know where you're going with this.
in the WWE, and it was so real, and there was no bullshit with it. And he had some great folks around the Undertaker. One of them happened to be a fella by the name of Midian.
Yes.
And after the Ministry, they thought it would be cool for Midian to just be naked. So Naked Midian is my 5th choice. They put Midian in a G-string and a fanny pack and just had him wrestle in that. Because Vince McMahon was like, "Ha! I can see his ass cheeks."
How does
And
someone
that's how
with
it
Midian's build get to be a WWE wrestler?
Well, he was all... There it was. I mean, he was a pig farmer. That gimmick wasn't great. The whole, like, follower with the eye, whatever, that wasn't even great. But then they're like, let's just take all of his clothes off.
Let's just give him. Hey, Michael P.S. Hayes. Hey, Doc Hendricks. Can we borrow your fanny pack for a second?
Do.
Here.
Right there it
There's
goes.
this.
Naked Midian. Man, what an awful gimmick.
All right, Matt. So give us a recap of round 5.
All right, so round 5 started with me taking Max Moon off the board. Big Jim took the Mr. America gimmick, not to be confused with Hulk Hogan or the Patriot.
No.
or
certainly
the Blue Blazer or any other. This was Mr. America.
This is Mr. America.
Someone completely different. Intern Mark took the better of the two worst gimmicks and took the fat chick Thrilla off the board, and then Ryan rounded us out with Naked Midian.
Jesus.
Come on.
Just so bad.
Like, again, why are people surprised in 2021 that poor decisions are made by this company?
That's ridiculous.
A giant star. He's like Starman from the pro wrestling
From the game.
It's like it's like a mix between Starman, AKI Man, and like Captain America.
Stupid. Oh my gosh.
Stupidest.
It's so bad.
It's so good. It's so bad. I mean, it's so bad. It's so good. Like
Right.
the Fu Manchu is out. Are you kidding? It's so good.
That's the thing. It's just it's
that?
that. It's that bad.
Man,
Prove that
That
was
bad.
Hogan. Oh my.
So Ryan, let's kick us off in round number 6.
Well, earlier on the show, you guys were speaking about Oz, who was being the catalyst with the NWO, and Kevin Nash. His counterpart was Scott Hall, who in the WWE wrestled as Razor Ramon. Well, he decided to leave and go to WCW, and Vince McMahon decided, hey, here's Rick Bogner. He could be Razor Ramon, and created like fake Razor Ramon. So fake Razor Ramon. Is
Beaver Cleaver.
Beaver Cleaver.
This is Beaver Cleavage.
Beaver Cleavage. There it is.
Yeah, there's Beaver Cleavage.
There it is. Fake Razor Ramon, who was just not a body guy. That
didn't even make my list, right?
Is my number 6.
50 wrestlers in the WWF.
Yeah.
And that didn't make.
And it's not a great gimmick.
It certainly is not.
Certainly is not. Fake Razor Ramon, number 6.
All right. Intern Mark, your pick in round number 6.
Well, we're going back to that WCW.
Back to the WCW.
And back to the WCW, and I can't believe this is real. I'm going to go with the tag team of the Ding Dongs. They actually came out with bells. They would ring bells. They were wearing orange bodysuits. It was awful.
The Ding Dongs.
I remember Jim Ross calling the match. The Ding Dongs. I think it was a Clash of Champions where they debuted. And it was so bad.
I mean, it's no wonder Jim Ross has cancer. Having to call shit like that.
He didn't have cancer in the mouth, poor guy. So
the
bad.
Ding Dongs.
There they are. The full body suits, the orange masks. I think it was Ding Dong 1 and Ding Dong 2, I think is what they were named.
Man, that is so creative. That is so creative.
So
Ding
bad.
Dongs.
I don't know if you could get a worse tag team. I mean, there's some that are up there, but I think the Ding Dongs would take the cake.
Ding Dong 1 and 2.
Ding Dong 1 and Ding Dong 2. All right. Well, I guess it goes to me.
One could be Ding and one could be Dong.
There you go.
I don't know if that's worse than Ding Dong 1 and 2.
All right, we go to me in round 6. And man, there are still some real heavy hitters in this one. But you know, I'm gonna look at a guy who in WCW he was kind of a stuck-up, established kind of British royalty figure. And in the WWE, we got to know him just as like a really great wrestler. And over time, we've gotten to know him as a really, really great, maybe one of the best on-air authority figures in the history of the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment. But there was a time where William Regal was not even William Regal. He was Steven Regal. And he was the real man's man, Steven Regal. And that is my pick in the 6th round. The real gave us a great theme song.
Oh, that entrance theme is so good.
But beyond that,
it is so good. He's
beyond that, that's about where the good ended with the real man's man, Steven Regal.
Yep, sure did. Came to screeching halt.
All right, Matt.
Don't we have a Steven Regal sound clip?
I was hoping to have one.
Well, I think we might just have one, Ryan.
In war games! War games! War games! War games!
I was talking about his entrance theme. I thought we had that.
Well, we have the
He's a man.
Close enough.
then we also have the close enough. But I think we're gonna wear out. I think we could probably wear out that War Games button next week too, because we will be, of course, we will be previewing NXT War Games.
My hope is that Tim's ears bleed.
It's going to happen.
between the Shane clips and the War Games clips. Yeah,
Yep, we've held off this week pretty good on both.
Tim's gonna have a rough week next week for sure. All right, Matt, round us out here in the 6th and probably final round.
So like Mark, I'm going to take a tag team. I'm going to look back to a time where WWE signed some of the best luchadors in wrestling history and didn't know what to do with them, so they dressed them as gardeners, put them on a lawnmower, and had them ride down to the ring as the Mexicools.
Wow. Yep.
Another thing that wouldn't fly in 2020.
Remember we were talking about gimmicks that wouldn't fly in 2021?
Man, that's a whole podcast in and of itself.
The Mexicools.
The Mexicools.
Wow. Probably would not go over what you... Really, a stable of Mexican gardeners wouldn't go over well today, huh?
Nope, probably not.
Unreal.
Didn't they have... they weren't on John Deere's, weren't they on Juan Deere's?
You're right.
I think
Change. Instead of Juan Deere.
Juan Deere's.
That's so bad.
How the hell
That's
was
so
that
bad.
okay at any point?
And this, we're not talking very long ago.
No, this wasn't like the 70s.
No,
This
no.
was like this millennium,
Like
right?
This was during the Randy Orton era.
Yeah, 2005, 6
Wow.
in that area.
Like when did the Mexico debut?
I mean, that's college, Ryan. So that's like, I know better. But the WWE didn't.
They didn't
The
know better.
Mexicools signed to WWE SmackDown brand. They debuted in 2005. So yeah, that's
Mark was right on, yeah.
that's
Yeah, it wasn't long
16
ago.
years. That's not a long time.
Nope.
Not at all. Oh.
The
Not
Mexicools debut can drive now.
Yes, they can.
That's a good point.
They don't need to ride the Juan Deeres. They can have their.
Yeah, actual cars
Yeah.
now.
Actual cars.
Yeah. My God.
Oh.
Wow. Mexicools.
So that's round 6. Matt, do you want to recap us on round number 6?
Yep, so Ryan started us off with fake Razor Ramon. Interim Mark started the tag team craze with the Ding Dongs coming off the board. Big Jim took the man's man, Steven Regal, and then I closed this out with the Mexicools.
So do we want to go any further? I feel like there's still plenty of options out there.
So much meat on the
We can
bone.
do 2 more rounds. So we'll keep it.
I've got enough to do 2 more.
I can do 2 more.
All right. So Matt, let's kick us
I'll
off
do 2 more.
in round number 7 of the worst gimmicks draft.
All right. So I said I wanted to take a woman gimmick throughout this, and I will do this, as she debuted and the gimmick wasn't great as Emma, but then she was repackaged as Emelina. And when she finally debuted as Emelina, she just said, nope, there's no gimmick. and didn't last much longer beyond that.
I love the dance.
I enjoyed the dance. The dance was fun, but there wasn't
Dance was
much
Woof.
beyond it. And then Emelina happened.
Woof. Yeah, that was
Oof.
not good. All right. So Emelina kicks us off in round 7. It comes to me with the second pick in round 7. There was a guy who was a son of a plumber, and then there was a guy who was the son of a plumber, and then he also became a kind of androgynous character in Goldust. But there was a point within the World Wrestling Federation where he became the artist formerly known as Goldust.
Ooh.
And the artist formerly known as Goldust was just horrendous. I mean, just awful. So the artist formerly known as Goldust
Went in a different direction than I thought you were going with that one.
I thought you were going 7.
I thought you were going 7.
I was saying there was another option out and still out there because again,
You swerved us.
So I gave you the old swerve ski, but the artist formerly known as Goldust in his bright neon green spandex suit and ball gag. It's right there.
That's a playable character
So
on like
bad.
the old Acclaim Raw game or whatever on the N64.
Certainly is. So intern Mark, we go to you in round number 7.
All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna dip back into WCW.
Oh boy.
They had a lot of bad ones, and this poor devil, he didn't stand a chance. With a name like Glacier, he moved about as slow as one, but he was just awful. What a shame. I don't know if you guys ever listen to Eric Bischoff's podcast, but he comes up quite a bit, and just the timing with Glacier coming in as NWO did, it just killed Glacier completely. He mellowed away to nothing.
There it is.
He started out cold as ice and just mellowed away. So bad. Glacier, that martial artist.
They tried so hard to capitalize on that Mortal Kombat.
They really did.
Yep,
They
Sub-Zero.
really did.
Just couldn't do it.
Maybe a year earlier he could have done something, but yeah, he was doomed.
Years later, at the very first Joey Janela Spring Break, in the clusterfuck match,
Yep.
Glacier showed up, and the place popped like crazy. He stood in the ring with Ethan Page, and they did the Mortal Kombat standoff where they kind of just rocked back and forth thing. They started playing the Mortal Kombat music. It was the greatest thing. For that, I would have never put him on the list just for that moment alone, because he was so bad for like so long. And Ray Lloyd finally got his moment as Glacier.
Wasn't he in like a battle royal at All Out? Wasn't
he? Might have been. Yeah,
Might have been, yeah.
Like
yeah. I think he's part of like Team Cody Rhodes family or whatever.
Or I guess it would be All In, because
All In sounds right. Yeah,
because that's why it's All Out, because they don't own All In. But Ryan, round us out here in round 7.
Well, originally this was, I think, thought about like a Survivor Series team. And it's hard to talk about the Survivor Series without bringing up The Undertaker, who debuted at the Survivor Series. Well, the WWE thought it would be cool to come up with like an anti-Undertaker figure. And Kevin, what was his name? It doesn't matter what his name was.
Kevin Thorne? Is that
Kevin Thorne was one of his characters, but like he bleached his hair white and he wore a whole white gimmicky thing, and he was like this religious zealot, anti-Undertaker sort of thing in Mordecai. What an awful idea that was.
Fart in church, man.
Mordecai. Had the big like thing, just trash.
Just
Mordecai.
Recap us, if you will, for this round.
Yep. So I started off the round taking Emelina off the board. Big Jim went with the artist formerly known as Gold Dust. Intern Mark got in a number of puns, taking Glacier off the board, and Ryan took us home with Mordecai.
There it is.
Just awful. So bad. So bad, some of these gimmicks. All right, Ryan, round us out here. Round
All right.
8.
Here we go. We're going to round it out here. This guy also only, I think, had one official WWF match, which I believe he won. They released 8 vignettes building this character up on SmackDown, where he would come to you live from the carnival grounds. And he would speak carny folk language. And half the people didn't know what he was talking about. But that gave us the Sin Bodhi character known as Kizarny in the WWF.
Is awful his house?
It's so awful. Kizarny, kind of a neat idea, actually. Wrestling heritage coming from the carnival, yada, yada, yada. Awful execution. One match, I believe he won it, so I think he's also in the 100% club.
I feel like there's a lot of people that we have named in this draft that were great on paper.
Kizarny.
And upon execution,
my God,
is awful. All right, intern Mark, with your pick here in round number 8.
All right, I'm gonna go with one of the favorites here on 3 Count Thursday. I'm gonna go WWE, and I'm gonna go with a woman. It is Natalia and the farting gimmick. The farting Natalia. How absolutely ridiculous is that? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
That was a gimmick?
Oh, come on.
She was the farting Natalia. So bad.
Sounds like an awful carnival gimmick, too. The farting Natalias.
The farting Natalias. That gimmick really stunk it, if you ask me.
Oh my God.
That one's good and echoey. Hit that one again.
That was very echoey. That's like a quiet men's room.
I mean, I like the double as well.
That's
a good one, too.
But you can't go wrong with the classic.
Yeah,
they're all great.
That's the old favorite.
You can't go wrong with
Jim's playing all the hits.
That's it.
Natalia's greatest hits.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good Lord. So he comes around to me again, huh?
Sure does.
Oh boy. I'm looking at 2 gimmicks that, again, we're talking about do not translate to a 2021 world. One is in WCW. One is in the World Wrestling Federation. Man, all right. I think I'm going to stay. You know what? No, I'm going to go to the World Championship Wrestling. I'm going to go. It's a state. It's a state within the United States of America.
Yeah, this is a good call.
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Her.
That's a solid one. Yep.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's just important taste.
If you don't know what we're talking about, first off, how'd you end up on our podcast? If you don't know what we're talking about. But if you don't know what you're talking about, just go to youtube.com, search Oklahoma WCW, and
it's no good.
Yikes.
No, it's terrible.
Yikes.
Arr.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. That Does not age well. All right, Matt. Let's round it out here.
All right, let's close it out. Mark, I can't let you be the only one to take a member of the Hart family off the board here tonight.
Uh-oh.
So, with my last pick overall, I'm going to go to Natty's dad, Jim, and his masked gimmick, Who.
Who? Who?
I looked at who.
You want to talk about puns and awful jokes?
Who
that
won
was
the match?
the only reason that gimmick was created, was to make those terrible Who's on first.
Yep.
It's just so bad.
Like Vince had to have just watched the Abbott and Costello bit.
That's it. Yeah.
Like that had to have been it.
This
It's
is
been out
genius.
for years.
Right. I mean, many years old at that point. And Vince probably just sitting in the back. Who's in the ring? You know, like,
Get it, Shane. Get it.
get it? It's because his name's Who, but who's in the ring?
Who won the
Love
match? Oh, Russ
People in
itself.
the-
Oh,
Yes.
just
Who?
awful.
Ooh.
All right, Matt. Recap us here for the 8th and final round.
Yep. So
Of the worst gimmick draft.
Ryan started us off with the solid pick of Kizarni. Enter Mark followed that up with everyone's favorite Natalia gimmick, which is her farting gimmick. Big Jim took the in poor taste character of Oklahoma. And I rounded this out with the hilarious joke of Who.
All right.
So, Oklahoma may have been in poor taste, but that barbecue sauce was pretty good.
The barbecue sauce
Arr.
is delicious. The main event mustard is fantastic.
Real good.
It makes
What about-
Ryan go.
Shit cleans me out so bad.
That main event mustard just runs right through.
Man, it is so good. I have
Right
main event
through.
mustard and the Chipotle ketchup in my fridge as we speak.
Good choice.
Like the crazy thing. So we just did 8 rounds of
There's
four.
still so many more.
There are
Oh,
so many more.
I still have 8 only from the WWE on my list.
I still have a lot more. A lot more on my list. We want to go
Let's go over a couple of them. Yeah.
Just throw out some honorable mentions here, yeah.
Well, of course, 7 we already covered because I had the artist formerly.
7,
so,
yep. What about the Tech Team 2000 for tag team?
I had Techno Team 2000 on my list.
Techno Team.
That's like garbage. Yep.
So bad. Ryan, what are a couple other ones you had on your list?
So I had Friar Ferguson on my list.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, obviously Bastion Booger,
Correct.
which is just a lazy gimmick. It's just he's a fat gay. It's just lazy. Simon Dean.
Yeah.
I wrote down.
I
The
didn't even
Fitness Guru.
write
Get the
him
hell
down,
out of
but
here.
yep.
It's so bad. In 2006, against Vince McMahon, thought, we should probably have a pirate character. And I get Pirates of the Caribbean was a thing, but really, we're going to go Paul Burchill and like a pirate gimmick
I didn't even
in
put Paul
2016?
Burchill on my list, but that's another good one.
And when that didn't work, they were going to, let's put him with his sister and have another incest angle. Like, that's a guy that was been burdened with really bad gimmicks.
Yeah,
I had some more tag teams on mine. I had the Spirit Squad on mine.
I had Spirit Squad on mine.
I had the Dicks on mine.
Okay, I didn't have the dicks.
The dicks.
Yeah, the dicks were terrible.
I
The dicks were terrible. The dicks were everywhere on SmackDown.
I had fucking Red Rooster on my list.
Oh, I have the Rooster. Yep.
Battle Cat was one. I had
Battle Cat, yeah.
Oh, Battle Cat.
I had Battle Cat.
I had the Mountie on mine, but I just didn't think it was bad enough to keep
Right,
on
I mean,
this
he
list.
at least had like some popularity and some success. I had the Mountie on mine. I had
Same
I
with Repo Man.
Repo Man,
Yeah,
Papa
Repo
Chango.
Man.
Like I had those on mine. Like in hindsight, they look bad, but like at the time, they weren't like they were at least something a little bit serious. I had I had the fucking Funkasaurus Brodus Clay on my.
Oh,
That's
that was
good
a bad gimmick. That's a real good one, actually.
I almost picked him, but like I just hate him that much that
I had Tensai on my list.
Oh
Yeah,
fuck!
that
I
was
didn't even
bad,
have
too.
Tensai.
That was real bad. Yeah.
I had Waylon Mercy on mine.
I had
Oh,
Waylon
I
on
had,
mine.
I think
I had
Waylon could have been a great
Could
gimmick.
have been.
Yeah,
If
it was
it
ahead of its
wasn't,
time.
yeah, it was really was. Could have
Another one
been.
of those, like there were a couple that were bad gimmicks, but people still enjoyed it, like Disco Inferno or Tugboat.
Yep.
Yeah, I had Disco on mine.
Duke the Dumpster.
I had
Duke the Dumpster.
Disco on mine.
I had Man Mountain Rock.
Yep.
Oh, he was terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
Cool guitar. That was it.
Yeah.
Sure did. I had the other one when I was looking at Oklahoma. The other one that does not parlay into 2021. Akeem, the African Dream.
Nope.
Nope,
that
not at
doesn't
all.
play anymore. Nope.
Oh, I love the team.
Not one that
That's
I
so
saw.
bad.
What I'm still pretty sure was either was his first appearance at any WWE show or right around his first appearance was Sparky Plug.
Oh.
And that's 2 G's on the end of Plug. Sparky.
Yeah, he was Thurman Plug originally, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Thurman Sparky Plug. Yeah. STP.
Lest we forget Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
He was on strike. What a great gimmick.
Yeah, that
awful.
was good. He came in. Didn't he come in as MVP for a little bit, and then he went to Abe Knuckleball?
I think you're right. I think you're
so,
right. He
yeah.
was the MVP for a little bit. Saba Simba.
Oh,
How do you
God, that was awful.
That was a
Tony
bad one.
Atlas.
Tony Atlas.
Yeah.
I had the anonymous GM as mine, but I didn't know if we could have.
That would have been a great one.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was good.
Much more recent one, fucking Retribution.
Yeah.
Oh, so bad.
Lars Sullivan.
He was awful too.
I mean,
That's not good.
the rebranding of Emelina was bad, but the repackage of Jim's favorite, Eva Marie, also
Oh my God.
very bad.
Wasn't good.
Not,
I have 2 more on my list. I have the Giant Gonzalez,
I had him.
Yep, terrible.
who, man, such a tall guy. The bodysuit was just,
Awful.
maybe it was necessary. I don't know.
Liked when he first debuted at Royal Rumble when it had actual hair
Yep.
on the bodysuit,
Yeah.
and they just did away with the hair, and it was just a hairy bodysuit.
And my only other one, again, I stuck everything to WWE or WWF. This guy also only had one match with the WWF, and he won it. It was against a jobber, Fantasio,
I had Fantasio on my list.
whose finishing maneuver was like just reaching in and removing the trunks, like the underwear of his opponent, which stuns them, and then he just schoolboys them.
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver.
That is
even Gene.
Wow.
And then he pulled off the referee's underwear. And that was it. Like, we never saw him again. That was
For
it.
good reason.
The match is all of 3 minutes. You can watch it on YouTube. He removed the underwear of 2 other men, and that was enough to get his career canceled, I suppose.
Turns me on.
I had Right to Censor on my list. I didn't think it was strong enough to make the list. Quang. I had
Quang was bad.
Quang on my list. Skinner was on my list.
Skinner always freaked me out as a kid because of the black shit, like his chaw.
Right, and it would make people drink
Make
it.
people drink it. Yeah, that one turned me off as a child.
This one I saw on the list. I don't particularly remember, but the Stalker was.
Oh,
on
yeah.
this.
That was awful.
He was dude. That was the SummerStar. That was the Rock's debut match.
Yeah, it was. The Stalker was his
He
partner.
was his partner on the team.
Yep.
That was
Barry
one of the
Windham.
Wyndhams, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry Windham was the Stalker.
WCW. I had Wrath.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was,
Yeah, that's a good
Mortis
one.
And Wrath. They were both awful.
The Zodiac.
Mortis.
Who the
I had
fuck
the
was
Zodiac.
Zodiac? I don't even remember that.
It was-
Beefcake. Yeah.
Bruce the Barber Beefcake was the
One
Zodiac.
of his 17 names.
GI Bro
Yeah.
and the Renegade from WCW because we can't get Ultimate Warrior. We'll have the Renegade.
Get the Renegade. That's as bad as
We'll have the
fake
Renegade.
Razor and fake Diesel.
I also had Rosie the
It was,
superhero in
yes.
training,
Yeah, that one I had.
the Berserker, Damien Demento, which was the first match on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
The Undertaker.
Yep.
The Boogeyman was on my list. The Roadie and the Genius rounds out my list. Like I said, I had 50 from
Wow.
the WWF. There's even some that you guys hit that I didn't even have on my list. But I had 50 from the WWF. I had 13 from WCW.
Oh, Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese Man of War. That popped in
He
my head.
almost made the list.
Yep.
And that's the crazy news. There's still
There's
so many more.
There's still so many. Yeah, that we're
That
not even
Lee-
thinking of.
Leaf
Leaf
who was
Garrison.
it? Leaf Garrison?
Leaf Garrison.
Leaf Garrison with Al Snow was the new
the,
Rockers. I mean, let's be
They had,
fucking honest.
Stuttering Matt Morgan.
I saw Stuttering Matt Morgan when I was going through, and I'm like,
Yep.
let's be fucking honest.
That was awful.
Bearcat Lee.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like Bearcat
Not a good gimmick.
certainly could have made the list, but man, yeah, definitely.
Slapjack Shane Thorne.
Yeah, well, like I said, I had
He's with all of
I
Retribution,
had all
right?
of Retribution. But man, I mean, you could have had fake Diesel as well.
Yeah, there was a fake Diesel, fake Razor.
with fake Razor. My God. But certainly, obviously, so many.
So
Some
bad.
people could have made the list. Bruce Hart could have made the list, for Christ's sake.
Bruce, sorry.
But that's that rounds out.
Cheesy, Queasy, and Sleazy, the three small kings.
Well, and then you
small
had
kings.
Dink the Clown.
Yeah, he's right.
Right,
Doink,
yeah.
Dink.
Yep.
I forget what the other
Dink
ones
and
were.
Doink. There's
Wink.
King. King had
Was
like
it Wink
Queasy
and one in the
Sleazy.
stink? I don't remember what it was.
Pink, Stink, Dink. Dink hung around for a while too. Then
Yeah, Dink was around for a while.
Clowns Are Us.
Clown.
That was the team name.
What Survivor Series? That was a Survivor Series, I think, right? That
Yeah. They took on Jerry Lawler in his
I'm gonna guess 90.
court.
It feels like
That was
93.
I'm gonna guess 90. I'm gonna guess 95. Survivor Series 1995. Let's see here, because it was one of those. So let's see. Doink. Nope, Doink wasn't on that one. So let's scroll back here, because I know it wasn't 94, because that was the one. Maybe it was. The Royal. Yes, it was the Royal Family. Cheesy, Queasy, Sleazy, and Jerry Lawler defeated Clowns Are Us. Dink, Doink, Pink, and Wink.
Pink and Wink, okay.
Oh my God! What a Bob Holly versus Quang was on that one.
Ooh, maybe that's a watch along episode.
That might be a watch along.
Ooh.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, there was a couple good ones on there. Adam Bomb was on that show as well. Didn't quite make the list of bad gimmicks,
That
but
could go on there.
could have gone on there. But yeah, Doink, Dink, Pink, and Wink.